Wow, that just came out. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Saturday episode here at Restoration Rescue. My name's Chris, and what we did last week is we finished out the interior, finishing clearing what we needed to clear. So that looks pretty amazing. We'll show it to you guys here in a second. Today though, we are going to make the interior look even better as we cut up these seats. So we are gonna cut off all the old ratty vinyl that's on them, and we are going to refurb the bottoms, and we are going to try to throw on our new covers. So first things first, we got to wipe them down, get all the dirt and grime off them before I bring it in the house to finish up putting on the seat covers. So we're going to wipe them down, and then we are going to start tearing off some of the vinyl so we can see what it looks like underneath and see what we need to repair. So let's go ahead and start cutting off some of this vinyl. Alright, so as you can see, we have everything disconnected. We have all of the original foam off, and we are going to attempt to reuse it, as some of it is really good. The top, unfortunately, was destroyed, so we have to use the white foam that you see here for the complete top, which is not going to be that bad. It's just going to stuff underneath there, and it's a better foam than the original. However, the bottom original has a small hole in the driver's area. There is some extra foam that came out of it that was on top of it that we're going to jam in that hole to make sure it is flat. It's still going to look perfectly fine, and we noticed something else when we were taking this apart. You may have seen it, but there wasn't that many hog rings. And the hog rings were on the outside cover on the top. As you saw when we were ripping it apart, there was a whole nother layer underneath that. So as you can see here, I'm going to move up. you see these right here, these clips, we're holding that vinyl on and keeping it on the metal. So first things first, what we need to do is we need to clean up this metal. You gotta lay some rust reformer on it and lay some paint coat on it so it actually looks pretty good. So that's what we're gonna do next. So we're gonna clean this all up and lay down a nice coat of paint. So as you can see, we have moved inside to do the covering. So on the top, as we have here, the foam was pretty much gone. So what we have is the foam that we bought from LMC Truck. It pretty much fits right up perfectly, and we just need to put it on. So now we're gonna take the cover, we are gonna try and slide it on, and hopefully this thing comes out amazing, and then we'll start throwing on our hog rings. So here we have the bottom or the back of the seat where your back is going to be. So first we have to lay down this carpet insulator almost on top of this so that it sits underneath the foam and protects the foam from your springs. Because the springs at some point can become dislodged and poke into your back. This is not that super soft, and then we take our foam. So the foam is not perfectly cut. I may need to cut it. However, what we're gonna try and do is try and stuff it in there. So we lay it down, and now it's good to go. So now we're gonna come over and we're gonna grab our cover. So the cover here, up in the top corner, you can see it kind of dips down, and that is going to be your top. So the top of this is what we have here. We are going to start trying to feed it in. So now this one is an open back. I am a little bit surprised about that, as I thought it was supposed to be a cover and the back was going to be covered. However, the back is going to be open, fine. We're not really going to see that. So what we're going to do is we are going to start by pulling the cover around the outside of the hooks or of the metal frame, and then we are going to work it down the entire rest of the seat and pull and push until I get it. So let's go ahead and start pulling and pushing and getting the seat where it needs to go. So as you can see, it is pretty good. It's pretty tight. We just need a little bit more rubbing and some pulling. And what we need to do now is we are going to flip this to almost its back. And we need to start hog ringing it to where it needs to go. So we need to do a little bit more pulling, get this band over, and just start hog ringing it to where it needs to go, and just continue until it is all hog ringed into place, and then we'll have the top part of this seat completed. So I have a hog ring and I'm going to stretch it. So I just need to get this on here, down to where it needs to go, through here, and then take our hog ring pliers, should be like this, and hog ring it into spot. So have a little bit more stretching and heating up of the metal to do, or of the leather, or vinyl, sorry, just to get it exactly where I want it so that I can have it where it needs to go. So like one should go right around here and hog ring into there. So we have one almost installed, and we have one installed, and now we just need to continue down the edge and roll this up and over and do pretty much the same thing to get them all where they need to go. So as you can see, it is not that difficult to set your hog rings in and then just get them bent over. So we're gonna go ahead and do the rest of these and get it all set up so that we have all of this where it needs to go. Man, I could just use this thing as a pillow. It came out absolutely fantastic. So the top half is done. So now what we need to do is go grab the bottom half, bring it in, and do the same thing. Hopefully that one goes just as smooth. The hog ring pliers are a little bit tough to use, not the hardest thing ever. You just get them right in the grooves and you pull hard until it kind of crinks. Came out pretty good. It stretches really nice. It probably needs to sit in the sun to get rid of a couple of these little frays, or not frays, just a little bumps. But otherwise, this thing came out immaculate. I am so pumped. I can't wait to get it in the car. The color looks even better. It does look really dark on camera, but it is a nice chocolate brown, like a lighter chocolate, like maybe with a dab of milk in it. But this thing looks incredible. I can't wait to get the bottom, get this thing together, and get this thing in the truck so we have a seat so I can grab a steering wheel and drive down the road with you guys. So let's go and grab the bottom. So as you can see, we have the foam already set on this part of the truck, or on the part of the seat. So the reason that it is thicker on this side is this is the driver's seat. That is where you're gonna get most of your wear, and that is where I could get most of my foam. I didn't have another extra new foam. We're gonna use the old one, as there is some old one left over. There's just a small little hole on the driver's seat, but we have now covered that up. We have this thing ready for what it needs. I'm excited to throw the cover on this side and get this thing taken care of. So we have run into a little bit of difficulty on the bottom. And the bottom, the reason I have difficulty is we can't use hog rings. Now, our frame is just a little bit different than a lot of people's that is gonna be out there. A lot of people will have a metal piece right in this area, that has holes in it where you would go. Unfortunately, we don't have these, and we have the original little half clamps that we're gonna have to use to make sure that this thing stays where it is. I have to spread them out, then I have to take them on, and I have to beat them on with the back of the screwdriver. So I'm gonna go ahead and start knocking these out so I can get this thing tightened down so that I'm not gonna lose all of these things. So we have gotten the bottom all completed, and as you can see, it looks pretty good. All right, so on the driver's side, it's obviously a little bit higher, and that's because the extra padding. The padding on the passenger side was pretty good, so it's a little bit lower because we added that extra stuff, but we're gonna be mostly in the driver's seat, obviously, unless we're driving a friend around and he'll be over here, or she will be over here. So we were able to hog ring the whole front of the seat. The back, again, were these little clips that were from the factory on this. So what we ended up doing is we took our hog ring pliers. I'm gonna bring this up close. So I put them in between there. Let's see if you can see it like that. And I just squeezed. So that is to make that thicker and a little bit wider opening. And the reason for that is this is a thicker material than what was on there. And over time, obviously, that probably thinned out and tightened up. So this had to be a little bit wider to get in from here. But it came out pretty nicely. Pretty easy job. I think anybody can really do this if they have patience. But it did come out really good. I'm excited. We just have a couple bolts left to bolt it together to this and inside the cab. I am really excited. We have both sides lined up. The only frustrating part that I ran into was one, these clips, and two, was the lining up of the floor pieces, getting those together as they are 60 plus years old this year. So the only thing is that, and that awesomely strong spring that you have to connect to that and to the frame of the seat. But other than that, this thing came out awesome. It needs a little bit of sunlight to get rid of a little bit of the waviness, and that should really help out. But that is a wrap for this week's video. We'll see you guys next week when we continue working on the interior of the 63, or maybe we'll hop over to the 454. Just tune in and see, and we'll see you guys next Saturday.